Alright, so we got a few tiers. We got best. These are like the best movies, obviously. Good movies, meh movies that I'm like indifferent on, bad, terrible, and then, haven't seen or been too long to remember the movie well. So, let's just get started. So, first of all, I believe that's the Incredible Hulk. I have not seen that in so long that I just do not remember it. Iron Man. This one is amazing. Like, this holds up so well. The CG looks incredible, especially for how old it is. It's like on par with like Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, but yeah, like he's easy best tier. Iron Man, I believe that yeah, that's two. All right, look, people hate on this one too much. It is not that bad. Like it really is not that bad. It is a very solid movie. Is it like amazing or anything? No, but it's solid, right? So I'll give it a good. The first Thor. Eh. The the first Thor is good, but it's not great, It's easily the weakest of the like original movies for the like first in the trilogy, like the introduction for a character. It's easily the weakest out of the original like phase 1. So, I'll give it good, but I'll try and keep it lower. All right. Captain America the First Avenger. This is going to be a trend for the Captain America movies. This one is just so good. Like it's almost as good as the first Iron Man. I think the first Iron Man is a little better, but it's very close. Like the first Captain America is just fucking amazing. Avengers. Look, man, it's like the culmination of the first like group of movies and it's just amazing. Like it really is. It's just amazing. It still holds up so well. Easy deserves best tier. Iron Man 3 is good as well. I personally kind of prefer Iron Man 2 slightly, but Iron Man 3 is not bad by any means. It's got some good things, it's got some iffy things. Like, the Mandarin was a little weird, but I don't think the Mandarin was bad either. Um, I'll put it in the meh tier. It's a fine movie. Thor: The Dark World. This was the first bad MCU movie. Like, this was the first one that was just bad. But honestly, considering how bad some of the other movies get, this one isn't terrible. Like, just in comparison. So I'll go ahead and put it in the bad tier. Captain America the Winter Soldier. This is my favorite Marvel movie. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that over with. This is my favorite Marvel movie. Winter Soldier is perfect in like every way. There's so much good about it. The way they did Bucky, just still incredible, still amazing. Like, I don't know how they wrote that so well. Sebastian Stan went fucking crazy for that role. And every dude, he is the highlight of everything he's in for the MCU, in my opinion. Sebastian Stan is just perfect for Bucky. So, since it is my favorite, it's gotta go at the top. Guardians of the Galaxy. This is actually my least favorite Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But come on, it's the Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. It's so good. The only reason it's my least favorite is because out of all of the villains of the Guardians movies, Ronan is the least interesting. He's kind of just one of those bad guy that's just bad for plot reasons villains. Like, he's just kind of there to have a villain. And I think Guardians 2 and 3 do their villains a lot better. So, this one is great. I'm gonna put it at the top of good. Avengers Age of Ultron is so overhated, it really is not bad. I would say it's not even meh. It's a good, entertaining movie. I thought Ultron was great. Dude, his voice, I don't remember who voices him, but his voice is so fucking good. And he's got some of the most like well defined character traits out of any of the villains. He is another one of those kind of just evil to be evil, like kind of just evil for plot reasons, which is one of the few things I think draws the movie back a little bit. Like Loki at least, wanted to take over Midgard. Loki at least had a reason to do what he was doing. Ultron is kind of just, you know, he browsed Reddit for 30 minutes and decided humanity needed to be expunged. Overall, though, I would say it's a good movie, but I'll put it on the low end of good. Ant-Man. The first Ant-Man movie is genuinely one of my favorite Marvel movies, and it doesn't really deserve to be one of my favorite Marvel movies, but it's something about it I just love. I love a good heist movie, which at the end of the day, like, Ant-Man is a heist movie. It's got an incredible soundtrack. Like, the main theme of the movie is one of my favorite main themes in all of the MCU, just that dun 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 dun. So good. Um I loved the characterization. I think the CG for that movie, while it could have been better, was really freaking good still. Um and I think it deserves to be in the best tier. It should be lower in the best tier, but I think it deserves best tier. Civil War has actually like fallen. It used to be my favorite, but it's fallen quite a few places in the last few years for me. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but there are some like iffy parts about it. Mainly, one of my biggest issues with it is Spider-Man's inclusion. Why the hell did Tony drag a kid into a fight like that? Like, what? That doesn't really make sense if you sit and think about it. Like, wait a minute, why is Spider-Man there again? What? Like, he was kind of just there to get introduced to the MCU. Still a great movie, though I think it's probably the weakest of the Captain America movies, even though it's still one of the best Marvel movies. It deserves. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair spot for it. Doctor Strange. The first Doctor Strange holds up really well, but it has a very similar issue that Guardians of the Galaxy did, where it kind of just has a villain who's evil kind of just to be evil. I mean, I guess he was looking for like favor in the eyes of Dormammu, but still, he was just kind of evil to be evil. Um, but at the same time, the movie wasn't really about the villain or the fight against the villain. It was about it was kind of like Iron Man, where it's about Doctor Strange becoming a better person, sort of coming into his role as a sorcerer and eventually Sorcerer Supreme. Um, I think this one is great. I'm I'm kind of split on whether to put it in best or good though. I think I like the first Guardians movie better than it, so I'm gonna put it in good below Guardians. Guardians Volume 2. This is my... I flip-flop between this and Volume 3 for my favorite Guardians movie. I think... I think this one's probably my favorite. I don't know. Nah. Alright. Either way, Volume 2 is amazing. I loved Ego. Kurt Russell was perfect casting for Ego. Like, he did such a great job. And there are a few issues with Ego. Like, they did kind of make Ego a little too much Kurt Russell. It would have been nice if they gave him time to shine as the planet, because he is the planet. and I feel like they could have done more with the fact that he is the planet. Like the only thing they really do with him being the planet is the shot where like his you can see like a face in like the surface of the planet from space. I just wish they did a little more with that, but outside of that, the movie is great. Yondu's death is like every time I rewatch this movie still makes me cry. Um, Also, Yondu has some of the most fucking badass scenes of any Marvel character in this movie. The Yaka arrow is fucking insane. Like it's such an awesome weapon, and I really want to see it utilized more. Now that the other guy has it, I do not remember his name. But yeah, this definitely going low best tier. I'll put it above Civil War. No, that's not fair. I'll put it below Civil War. Spider Man, is that Homecoming? Yes, that is Homecoming. Spider Man Homecoming is, this is a hot take, the best of the MCU Spider Man movies because it's the only one that's really like New York street level. Uh, and it also has the most down to the character Spider-Man, Peter Parker, uh, like conflict with each other. Like being Spider-Man, like really hurts Pete's social life in a grounded way. I know No Way Home does that as well, but in a grounded way, being Spider-Man hurts Pete's social life in a way that I think works the best for the character. I think Spider-Man, who is my favorite superhero by the way, I know, very generic pick, but like I think him as a character works best on the New York street level. And also Homecoming, while it does rely a little too much on Tony Stark, does do a good job the separating Spider-Man from the tech, because the entire climax of the movie is Pete with just his stuff, like his homemade suit, his web shooters, like it's just him and his stuff. So I think they do a good job separating him from Tony Stark for the climax of the movie. And speaking of climax of the movie, dude, Vulture is amazing. He's so perfect. Like, actually, my favorite iteration of the character, which isn't saying a lot since he doesn't have a lot of great iterations, but he's so good in that movie. Like, actually made Vulture terrifying for the first time in his entire, uh, like, uh, tenure as being a Spider-Man villain. I think Homecoming easily deserves best tier. I think it's fair to put it below Guardians Volume 2. Thor Ragnarok is the only the only really good Thor movie. The first Thor movie is good, but it's like good, not like good. It's like good. Ragnarok is amazing. It has some iffy parts about it. Like, it does lean a little too much into the humor a lot of the time. But the writing is great. The story itself is great. I loved Hela as an antagonist. She was amazing. And Thor's growth throughout the movie, understanding like what Asgard really is, and then Loki also has some growth throughout that movie. It's great and easily, I think, deserves best tier. I will put it above. I'll put it above Homecoming. I think it's fair there. Black Panther. Alright, I know I keep putting movies in the best tier, but it's because a lot of these, like, phase 1, 2, and 3 movies are just this good. Black Panther is like one of the best Marvel movies, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Everything about this movie is great. The casting is incredible for all of the characters, especially the like main characters, like the villain and you know Black Panther himself. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, God, he did such an amazing job. And then Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, oh my fucking god, actually one of my favorite villains in the MCU. They do such a great job kind of making their uh, perspectives of the world like inverses of each other. And like they have almost completely opposing goals throughout the entirety of the movie. The only thing that draws the movie back is that really bad CG in that final fight. But outside of that, everything about this movie is just, God, so good. Easily, I think, deserves to be above. I I know that's a hot take, but I think it deserves above Civil War. Infinity War. Infinity War is a little overrated. I hate to say it, it's a little overrated. It's great, but it's a little overrated. It is a little too actiony, which I know is a wild thing to say about a superhero movie, but I think the focus was put a little too much on the fight scenes rather than actual like character stuff. Like the most character stuff we get is Thanos sacrificing Gamora. Outside of that, it did just kind of feel like fighting Thanos every 20 minutes, which was cool, but like, man, that was a lot of fighting Thanos. And I will say one thing I do really respect about this movie is that the heroes lose. That's one of the very few MCU movies, if not the only one, honestly, where the heroes lose. Like just flat they fail. Um but like I don't think it's as good as most of the movies in best tier. I think it deserves best tier, but I don't think it's as good as most of those movies. I honestly think I honestly think it's only better than Ant-Man. No, I'll put it above Homecoming. No, I'll put it above Ragnarok as well. It's a good one, but a lot of people say that it's like the best, and I just can't agree with that at all. Ant-Man and the Wasp is an okay movie. It suffers a little bit of like its biggest issue is really the antagonist Ghost has like very confusing motivation. It's like you understand like she's trying to survive essentially, but it they do it in such an odd way, and her characterization is also a little like confusing. I'm really hoping that they fix her characterization in Thunderbolts, and from the looks of the Thunderbolts trailer, it looks like it'll be an amazing movie, so I'm sure they will. But yeah, like her characterization in that movie was a little weird. It was also like they had this weird like what felt like almost a B story with Scott's house arrest, which like it just felt weird the way they did it. And while I think it was a good plot point, I think it could have been done better. It was like good in theory, but in practice was a little weird. um Overall it's like a solid movie. It's not like good, it's not meh. I'll put it in the low end of good. I'll put it right under Age of Ultron, I think is fair. Captain Marvel. Oh, this movie. This movie. There's so much about it that's good, and then there's Captain Marvel. it, like, Captain, that, why did they. She is so bland. She's so bland. Like, she really is so bland. And, like, I don't like how they did Captain Marvel in any of the movies. I don't like her characterization in this movie. I don't like her characterization in Endgame, and I especially don't like it in the Marvels. It just feels like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is like one of like an iconic Marvel character. Even before the movie, she was like an iconic Marvel character. but I just really don't like how they did her in the MCU. And also, like, the scrolls were also a little weirdly done in the MCU, and I actually kind of hope they drop the scrolls because it just has not been working. Um, yeah, this is the second movie I'm gonna give a bad tier. I think it's better than The Dark World, but I just don't like this movie. I've rewatched it maybe twice after I saw it in theaters, and every time I've seen it, I didn't really enjoy it that much. Um, Endgame. Endgame is weird for me. I have more fun watching it than I do Infinity War, but at the same time, from an actual writing perspective, it is a little more confusing than Infinity War. Like, it has a lot of weird plot contradictions, like 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 the time travel thing with Steve with Captain America at the end of the movie. Like, that makes no sense because they even said going back in time, you're essentially going to a split reality, like a different. It's kind of what they do in Back to the Future 2. They sort of explain it kind of like that, and it just feels they did such a confusing thing by having Steve come back as an old person, even though their own explanation of how that would work makes no sense. Yeah, it's just like such an odd way to do that. And I feel like if they were gonna do it like that, they should have set it up with Peggy in previous movies, because have it be like a bootstrap paradox, like um I think that's what that's called, a bootstrap paradox, where like going back in time caused certain things to happen, but then it's like that those certain things that happened directly led to them going back in time or something like that. It would have been more interesting. I think Endgame I think Endgame deserves best tier, but I'm only gonna put it above Ant-Man. It also feels like there's too many like audience clap moments. Like it feels like you're gonna see me mention that again with a No Way Home, but it feels like there were too many. Oh, time for the audience to clap, and like, don't get me wrong, like the things they did were cool, like Steve holding the hammer and then Iron Man doing the I am Iron Man. But it's just like, man, I, I feel like they could have done it better. Even though it's a more entertaining movie than a lot of these, it, like, when you actually think about it, it makes less sense. Spider-Man Far From Home, I think, has a lot of great elements and a lot of terrible elements. Firstly, great elements. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio is possibly Mysterio's second best iteration as a character ever. The best is obviously Shattered Dimensions. I can't think of a single person who's played Shattered Dimensions that would think that Mysterio wasn't the best in that game. But in Far From Home, easy second best. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal did an incredible job. I loved Mysterio. Mysterio is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and he gets adapted in movies especially so rarely, and by that I mean it's only happened once. They've set him up in other Spider-Man movies. I believe Quentin Beck is the person who keeps Pete from going into the play in a Spider-Man 2. I believe that's Quentin Beck. I could be misremembering that though. But at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of when Spider-Man is sent on missions by S.H.I.E.L.D. Spider-Man is supposed to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, not your friendly neighborhood government official, right? Like, and it also felt weird sending him across Europe. Like, because it's Spider-Man, you know? New York is like at such a core element to the Spider-Man character. Sending him to New York was such an odd choice. Or sending him to Europe. Did I say that? I don't know. Was such an odd choice, anyways. And I would have liked it if they just kept it in New York. Overall, though, like, I think the movie is fine. It's a good movie. I think I'll put it above the I'll put it above Iron Man 3. Or that's Iron Man 2. Yeah, I'll put it above Iron Man 2. I think that's fair. WandaVision, the first Marvel show, and one of only like four that I enjoyed. I loved WandaVision until the last couple episodes. I I'm just not a I feel like the show shouldn't have ended in a fight. I don't think the show should have ended in a big battle. I know it's a superhero thing and they kind of all have to have big battles, but like I feel like WandaVision just shouldn't have had that. I feel like WandaVision was best when they leaned into the like weird distorted world, and especially when they leaned into the sitcom tropes. I loved that. It was such a creatively smart thing. I think it worked so unbelievably well until later in the show when they started dropping it. Overall, though, I think it should go in the. I think it should go in the best tier, just because out of all of the Marvel MCU shows, it's one of two that I would say could understandably go in the best tier. We'll get to the second one much later. So, this one, I say we put it. I think I like Ant-Man more, honestly. Alright, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This. Did I say one of three shows for. Oh, one of four. No, one of five. Man, maybe the MCU TV shows were better than we thought they were. I'm like looking at these now and I'm like, man, there's only a couple of those that were just bad. Perhaps we treated the MCU shows too harshly. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is one of the middle ground ones. I loved it, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it is one of the middle ground ones. It did feel stretched out a little too long. I also thought it was a little weird how much they used Zemo as like an assistant to the to Bucky and Sam. But I also, don't get me wrong, loved seeing Zemo again. He was great. Especially seeing him with his like comic book look was a blast. I loved that. I do think it was just a little too long though. I think the biggest thing is the same thing that most people say about the show. It should have been a movie. WandaVision, I think, works best as a show because of the sitcom format it's kind of riffing on. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been a movie. I think it deserves good tier though. I'll put it above. I'll put it above Iron Man 2. Yeah, I'll put it above Iron Man 2. Black Widow is a movie. I think the biggest thing about Black Widow is that it just kind of feels just like, I know that's the name of the tier, but it just feels meh. Like, it has substance, but not too much of it. But at the same time, it's not like a bad experience at all. It just feels like they should have cooked it for longer and could have done something better with it. I think it deserves meh tier. Shang-Chi, so good, alright? So good. But the final fight should not have been a CGI fight. It should not have been like CG, like power fight. It should have been more martial arts. Like, The martial arts in this movie are one of the best things about it. The choreography actually blew my mind the first time I saw it. And it's like, I wish they did that at the end, because it kind of felt like they did a lot of like CG, like superpower fight at the end, and it would have been cooler if they kept it martial arts as the final fight. I get that the 10 rings to kind of like use them well don't work like that, but I wish they kept it martial arts. Overall though, it's a very good movie. I think the casting was great except for Aquafina, because oh my god, can we stop putting Aquafina in stuff? This is admittedly one of her better roles in movies that I've seen, but just like, man, I don't... She's fine, right? Like, she's fine, but she's everywhere, and I'm so tired of seeing her. Well, not tired of seeing her, but I'm tired of hearing her. Because she is in, like, everything. I also love how they brought back the Mandarin, like the fake Mandarin from Iron Man 3. I thought that was a nice callback, and it was cool to see him be used again, even if it was still a little silly. I did love them bringing him back. Overall, I think the movie's good. I'm not gonna put it too high, but I do think it's a good movie. I'll put it above Far From Home. Yeah. Eternals, I have not seen, and I have absolutely no plans to see it. Same thing for Hawkeye. I'm sure it's fine, but like, I just don't have any desire to see it. Spider-Man No Way Home is quite possibly the most overrated MCU movie of all time. But it's still not bad. No Way Home is a little contrived and a little too, like, reliant on nostalgia bait, because that's literally what it is. It's nothing but nostalgia bait. Every single antagonist is an antagonist from a different line of Spider-Man movies. Andrew and Toby being there was cool, and they do have some great moments. Like Pete explaining how his life is going was nice, and then Andrew saving MJ was very nice, because that Gwen's death was like the only good part of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Overall though, like, it's not that good of a movie. Like, it really isn't. And the best thing it did was sort of reset the status quo of Pete's life, so that we could get a more grounded and down-to-earth Spider-Man. I'm really excited for that, because I'm pretty sure we're getting that in Spider-Man: A Brand New Day. And I can't wait for a more grounded Spider-Man. I think Brand New Day might be the best Spider-Man MCU movie at this rate. Like, the MCU Spider-Man movies, I think, overall, are just, like, not as good as they could have or should have been. And I really hope Brand New Day fixes that. Overall, though, No Way Home has its good moments, but it also has some terrible moments. Like, the Lizard is so good, right? The Lizard is great in Amazing Spider-Man 1. Like, great villain, great writing, very interesting, very, threatening. And then they just barely use him. They barely use him in No Way Home. Same with Dr. Octopus. They didn't really use him that much in No Way Home. Sandman might as well have not been there. Like, he was only set dressing for that final battle. The only villains I think that were done right were Electro, which, I'm very glad they got Jamie Foxx back for that, because I think the writing of Amazing Spider-Man 2 is what made Electro bad, and not Jamie Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx did a great job with what he had. And it was great to see him finally have good writing to work with, because Electro was written pretty well in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Green Goblin, not nearly as good as he was in Spider-Man 1, but it was amazing to see him. He was very entertaining. Willem Dafoe in any movie takes the stage, even if he's not one of the main characters. Like in John Wick, like he's there for like maybe 10 minutes of screen time. Like best character in that movie. Um yeah, like it has some great moments. Like Toby stopping Pete from killing Green Goblin was a great moment. Just overall though, I think it's the weakest MCU Spider-Man movie. And I think it deserves low good tier. I think I'm gonna put it below Age of Ultron, honestly. Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight, right? Love the character. I loved the show. But I don't think it's one of the best MCU shows. I think I'm gonna put it in good tier. But I would like to talk about some of the stuff they did great. First of all, characterization of Mark himself and Steven and the Moon Knight character and Khonshu, like everything about that characterization works, right? Like it works. Especially in the episodes where they're like in the like therapy realm thing. I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it was in like the afterlife or something like that. But everything about that was great introspective into the characters themselves, and I loved what they did with that. I do wish the final fight had more Moon Knight focus. It was an entertaining final fight, but I wish it was more focused on Moon Knight himself. I also kind of wish Moon Knight got more fight scenes in general throughout the show. Because he doesn't get too many. The few he gets are great, but he just doesn't get too many, and I wish he got more. I'm gonna put it in low good tier. I'll put it above Age of Ultron. Multiverse of Madness is the first MCU movie I watched where I was like, what the fuck? God, everything about this movie is just why? Why? I don't even want to talk about it. It's so bad. America Chavez, she's there, but like, why is she there? She like, I get that her like ability to travel different dimensions is like important or whatever, but like, man, incursions are also like only in Multiverse of Madness. Like, it feels like the other movies just kind of like ignored incursions and stuff like that. And it just feels like they're kind of dropping that altogether, the incursion stuff, which good, because it was a stupid, dumb plot choice anyways. God, the fucking Illuminati fucking sucked as well. I hated how they did Mr. Fantastic. It was great to see Mr. Fantastic, but I hated how they did him. Like, the casting was fine. I think John Krasinski was Mr. Fantastic in that movie, and like the casting was fine, but like, man, everything else sucked. Like, it just feels like they disrespected all of the characters that were there for the Illuminati. Like, well, mainly Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, and Professor X were kind of disrespected. Captain Carter and Captain Marvel, both like not characters I cared about anyways. But like, man, they just kind of like, dude, you think Black Bolt would have the self-control to not yell? You know, like, that's his whole thing is, you know, his screams are catastrophic. You'd think he'd have the self-control to not yell and blow his head up. Mr. Fantastic, like, wow, they really just turned him into spaghetti. Like, come on, seriously? And then Professor X, literally like one of the greatest telepaths ever, just like almost instantly killed. I'm pretty sure he lasted the longest out of the Illuminati, which at least is reasonable for him to be the last one to die, because he was probably the most powerful out of all of them. still, like, man, they just killed him instantly. I thought Doctor Strange's character arc was horrifically bad. And that's like his character arc was just like, wow, you got broken up with. That sucks, man. It's just like, God, like, it was so poorly written. And they totally like ruined Scarlet Witch. It's like they didn't watch WandaVision. Actually, it isn't like they didn't watch WandaVision. They didn't watch WandaVision. And it just, man, this one fucking sucks. I think it's one of the worst MCU projects ever, and that's saying a lot. Ms. Marvel is not bad, alright? I really enjoyed this show, except for one specific thing that I didn't enjoy. Why did they change Ms. Marvel's powers? Like, it feels so unnecessary. They just changed her powers. She has, like, light, turning light into matter now. Why did they do that? That's not her powers. Her powers is like the embiggening thing. I love Ms. Marvel. She's one of my favorite, like, recently created Marvel characters. I believe she was created, Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel specifically. I think she was created in 2014 or something like that. Like, very recent in comic book characters sense. But, like, man, they just completely, like, changed her power set for some reason, and it, like, makes no sense. Like, why would they do that? Her original power sets were fine. Like, maybe it would have been weird for the CG, but still, like, the light powers were just stupid. They were dumb. Like, I'm still so annoyed about that. And it's like, the casting is great. I do not remember her name, but whoever plays Ms. Marvel does a phenomenal job with what she has. Like, she is, in my opinion, perfect casting for Kamala Khan. Like, she gives off the same energy that Kamala Khan gives in other iterations. And it's like, it feels like they just pointlessly, like, changed the character. Like, it doesn't even feel like Ms. Marvel because she's just got new power, like, different powers all of a sudden. Like, completely different from what she had originally, too. And she rarely uses them to do the embiggening stuff. And it isn't even embiggening. She's just making, like, a case around herself, essentially. Outside of that, though, I think the show is good. But that was such a hard thing for me to get past. I think I don't want to, because I liked the show, but, like, it pisses me off so much that they just changed her powers. I'm gonna put it in meh, even though it probably should be in good. I'm putting it in meh. Thor: Love and Thunder is such a dumbass movie. Like, this movie feels like it was made for babies. It's so weird. Because, like, Taika Waititi did such a great job for Ragnarok. Such a great job for Ragnarok. And then what the hell was he smoking for Love and Thunder? Like, I just don't get it. And they got some great casting too. Like, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher would have worked in anything except for this movie, I guess, because, man, he just is not good in this movie. And it's not like Christian Bale isn't trying. He's doing the best with what he has, but the writing is just so bad. And, like, man, the weird, like, cheating thing with the freaking hammer and the axe is so weird. And then the kid it's just a dumb movie. I hope it doesn't have major ramifications for the rest of the MCU, because I really didn't like this one. I think it also deserves terrible. I'm not even gonna talk about She-Hulk. I don't even want to talk about She-Hulk. I have not seen Werewolf by Night. I've heard great things about it, but I have not seen it. Wakanda Forever has good things about it. I think they did a great job sort of honoring Chadwick Boseman and the character. I think it's good that they didn't just recast T'Challa. I think it's good they didn't just recast him. I like how they sort of honored Chadwick Boseman's portrayal and Chadwick Boseman as a human. And it just, like, overall, though, the movie's just fine. I hate Namor. Like I'm a massive Namor hater, just in general. I hate Namor. Like Namor pisses me off to no end. And this is like pre-Marvel Rivals hatred of Namor, right? Marvel Rivals just made my hatred of him worse. I've always hated Namor though. I think he's a stupid ass. Number one, he's kind of just a ripoff of Aquaman, and everybody knows it. Number two, his writing fucking sucks. Number three, after the shit with him and Sue Storm, I cannot like the character because I love Sue Storm. And like, man, I just hate Namor. I mean, I like that they had him as the antagonist, but I really fucking wish Shuri just killed him. God, I wish they just killed him, because then we wouldn't have to deal with him. And now Namor's gonna be back, and the actor is fine. The actor did a good job, but like it's the character himself that I hate. I hate Namor so much. I also thought the way they did Ironheart was really stupid. Um, Bottom text, I guess they just did a really poor job with Ironheart, who's a cool character in concept. Like she's not a character I know a lot about. I just thought the way they did her was a little stupid. Um, Overall, like, it's at least a more entertaining movie, but it isn't a good one in hindsight. I'll put it high bad tier. Yeah, I'll leave Dark World low. I haven't rewatched it in a little bit, so maybe it's better than I remember, but I don't know. Quantum Mania is bad, alright? It's going in the bad tier, bottom of bad tier. But here's why it isn't going in terrible. Kang was a fun villain. Like, he was a very entertaining villain. I thought, while Jonathan Majors may be, like, a really shitty human being, like, a terrible person, like, do not support him, he is not a good guy. I thought, like, Kang was at least well enough portrayed. At the same time, though, that movie kind of made me realize how much I didn't want the Kang Dynasty in the MCU. I'm not like a huge comic reader, but one of the few comics I have read was an Adam Warlock comic where Kang was the main antagonist. And I just don't think he would work being the big bad of an entire phase. And I'm glad that I'm glad they're dropping him. Guardians Volume 3 is probably my favorite Guardians movie. I love everything about this movie. The emotional bits, which are most of the movie is emotional. Great, absolutely amazing. I actually kind of wish they didn't undo the Star-Lord dying in space. I get why they didn't undo that, because Star-Lord is a great character and one of the few roles that I think Chris Pratt was perfect for. Like, there are not a lot of other actors, I think, who could have done a good job with Star-Lord like Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt was amazing casting. And, like, I understand why they didn't, but I think it would have been nice if they did, just because that would have kind of put the finishing touches on the emotional bits of the movie. But with what we have, it's great. The only problem I have with this movie is that Adam Warlock's characterization is a little inaccurate to his comic book counterpart. But at the same time, like, in my opinion, personality characterization being a little off is way better than actual abilities being completely wrong. That's Marvel. But, like, personality-wise, he's a little weirdly done, but it looks like they're bringing him back for future stuff, and I would like to see him in future stuff, because the actor they got for him, I think, can definitely do a good job if he just gets some slightly better writing for the character. But yeah, I loved Guardians 3. It perfectly capped off the Guardians movies, and, like, I don't think, even if James Gunn still was at Marvel, I just don't think they could do a fourth Guardians movie. It easily deserves best here. I think I'm gonna put it above. Ooh, I'm at a crossroads. Do I want to put it above Black Panther or right below it? I think I'll put it right below Black Panther. I have not seen the holiday special. I've seen parts of it, but I've not seen it all the way through. Secret Invasion. Much like She-Hulk, I really don't want to talk about Secret Invasion. Loki. I have not finished season 1 of Loki. So I don't feel like it's fair for me to rate it. But I will say I've seen most of season 1 and it's great. I just have not finished it. And I'm being very slow about finishing it. So I'm going to put it in the haven't seen, but right now with what I have seen, I will say I would put it near the top of good. The Marvels is... It is a movie, I guess? The villain is so unbelievably forgettable, like I genuinely don't remember her name. Like, which is one of the few villains in the entire MCU that I think I just don't remember her name. Like, just don't know the name of. Which is very rare. Especially since I am, like, a big superhero fan. Like, I may not read comic books, but I do like to be informed about stuff that happens in comic books. I'm also big into the, like, superhero games and stuff like that. I just do not know who the villain was. It's, like, hard to do, but I do think it was worse than Captain Marvel. I'll put it in terrible. It should be top of terrible, but I think it deserves terrible. I have not seen Echo. Alright. Deadpool and Wolverine is great. I think it is the weakest Deadpool movie, but it's still great. Like, it was still a total blast. Very entertaining movie. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see more from, I guess, characters they introduced, because I don't think they're gonna do more Deadpool or Hugh Jackman Wolverine, but I am pretty sure they're bringing is it Channing Tatum? It might not be. I don't think it's Channing Tatum. I might be stupid. Whoever played Gambit, I'm pretty sure they're bringing him back for Doomsday. But yeah, movie itself, overall, I think it deserves high good tier. I'll put it above Shang-Chi. Actually, I might move Shang-Chi down a little bit. No, I think it's fine where it is. I think Shang-Chi is fine. Alright, Agatha All Along... I've not seen. I've seen the first season of What If and part of season 2, but I don't think that's good enough to judge it as an entire show. Alright. Captain America Brave New World. This is a hot take. I really liked this movie. Like, I really liked this movie. I thought the way they did Leader was great. I loved the way they did Leader. I loved Red Hulk. Like, I loved Red Hulk. There are just some parts of the movie that were a little weird. Like, adamantium coming from a Celestial was a little odd, I believe. My dad is, like, the biggest comic book nerd I know, and in the movie, he was like, what? Adamantium from the Celestial? And that's not how adamantium works. But, yeah. Overall, though, I think it was a solid movie. Like, I think people treat it too harshly. Like, I really do think they treat it a little too harshly. I did have a great time with it. I'll put it above Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then finally, Daredevil Born Again. I will admit, I'm a little behind, but that's only because I watched the episodes with my dad, and I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. So, that's the only reason I'm behind on the show. But I have seen up until episode 6, which is the first time that Muse and Daredevil face off. This show is the best MCU show. It is the best MCU show. It's so incredibly well done. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are both perfect casting for Daredevil and Kingpin, respectively. I have admittedly not seen the original Daredevil show, but Born Again is incredible. Just incredible. And after I finish Born Again, I am gonna go back and watch the original show. But yeah, I think it easily deserves. I honestly think I can reasonably put it above. I think I can honestly. I think I can reasonably put it up here. It's really fucking good. I think reasonably, I think it can fit up there. Like, I'm having a great time with that show, and I think they're doing an incredible job with it. But, yeah. This is the list. Yeah, I might do more tier lists like this whenever I'm bored. Something like that. In the future, but yeah, this is my list for MCU projects. So, yeah. See ya.